Hello guys, it's me again, Iris, and today I'm going to be showing you guys the second part of my Live2D tutorial series. In this part, I will be talking about how to create the art meshes that you need for Live2D because you'll need it to actually warp things properly, and I will also be talking about how to create and use parameters in Live2D. So let's just get started. So let me just click right on here. Now let me open up my Live2D model very quickly. And as you can see, it's taking a while because it is such a huge file. Again, it is a massive compared to my current one. This is taking a while. I might just cut this out. Oop, there it is. But anyway, this is my model. And it is here again so that I can show you guys the art meshes. Now I already have rigged it for the most part. There are some parts that I have not rigged, but it's mostly just because I don't feel the need to actually use it in my actual VTubing like general things that I want to do. So I only rigged some things. Anyway, by making art meshes, I mean when you're actually creating these little points. So for example, this is the art mesh for my head or my face. This is the art mesh that I have for the back of my hair, etc., etc. Now, when you first have uploaded your Live2D model from Photoshop, as it's like when it first starts off as just a regular PSD file, you won't have these art meshes. What you'll actually have is, if you see this red line, you'll basically just see a black line with white dots, just like this one, going along side and close with this red line. Basically, this red line is here to basically help you make things bigger or smaller, or to help you move things around. But these aren't art meshes. It's just like a transformation tool. You can actually exit out of it because it's very annoying sometimes. Like that. So these here are actually points that constitute your art mesh. If I actually have this little button here, and let me just check to see if you guys can see it, but right over here, if you have this little button clicked, the cursor, you can actually click and drag parts of your art mesh, oops, oh no, so that you can actually distort things to your liking. Now, usually what I don't recommend is whenever you actually start doing the distorting process, except for some things, I don't actually recommend using these. I would recommend using the head warp, the warps instead. Like I'm using the head warp here for the head mesh to actually make changes like that, because it pulls a lot more points than just that specific one. But the warps actually do take information from the points that you create in your art mesh, so it still is a very good idea to actually have these points. Otherwise, it may not distort in a way that you feel is proper. So anyway, the way to actually make these art meshes is, if you look up right here at the very, very top, you'll see that there is this little tiny triangle with 3 points, and right next to it says auto. If you click on it, for now you guys can't actually see this because OBS has some weird things when it comes to window capture, but there are presets you can actually use. Right now I am using the heavy deformation because I really wanted to make sure that I have as much points as possible, because the more points you have, the smoothly the warps end up becoming. So I actually use the heavy deformation for this current art mesh. But if I actually click where it says little, this is little, the little preset, and this is also the standard. So I clicked heavy, and then I just pressed X, and then actually made my art mesh here. Now, again, you can actually rely on Live2D to make the art mesh there for you. But oh, I didn't realize that I had like a random black box there. So I'm just going to delete that very quickly before that becomes a problem later. Oh, there you go. But what I want you guys to do is, if you're actually on your thing, you can see that I also have art meshes for stuff like this. Now, whenever I actually had this art mesh for my eyebrow, it actually did not come like that. If I did it with the automatic mesh generator, I actually created the eyebrow meshes and other things that I wanted to be more precise myself, because again, your points will actually pull at and warp in correlation with your actual picture. So sometimes you need to actually put these points in specific places, otherwise it may not look that good, because again, Live2D is just automatically thinking about the specific places that it wants to put it, but it may not be the correct place. So I'm going to show you guys how to actually make your own points. So right next to the automatic mesh generator, there's one where you can actually edit the mesh manually. So it's this one right here with the 3 dots on the triangle and the little pen tool. If you click on it, it'll actually turn off all of the other meshes and then just show the one that you are on. And what you can actually do is you can click the eraser tool and erase all the meshes, because again, Live2D will start off with 4 distinct meshes. If you did not automatically generate it, you'll basically have a square around your entire picture, and it'll actually pull from those squares if you did not make your own mesh or you did not have Live2D automatically generate another mesh. So let me just erase this so I can show you like the general process of how you can actually create your own thing. So for example, most of the ones that I made myself are the ones that have kind of like a length, like the eyebrows or the eyes or hair strands, because those are the ones I wanted to be more careful with. So basically all you have to do is you have to just have this one here, and it basically is a tool that adds more points. And if you click and click and click, you'll be able to create points. To actually make the art meshes work, you have to actually make sure that the points don't stay as a line. You have to actually create like some sort of mesh by creating lots and lots of triangles, because Live2D can't really work with any other shapes very well. So for now, I made this line with all these points, and it's not a good idea to just keep staying inside the lines or inside your picture, because if you just stayed within your picture like this, it may not warp in the way you want to. So let me actually show you guys the difference. I'll keep these ones here close and some farther away. Ooh. There you go, and I'm just haphazardly putting it down. Usually I'd make it a little bit more uniform, where I'm actually going along with the slope of the actual thing, but right now I'm just rushing just for this tutorial. So this right here is the difference between the smaller area and the wider area. And if you can actually see these white little, or not white, but these little tiny blue lines, those are areas where Live2D will actually recommend you add more lines or more points, really, so that there is like specific triangles you can use for the warping. So you can do it yourself manually like this, or you can just press where it says auto connect and Live2D will do that for you. So if I press check, the difference between the lower part or the smaller part here, let me just exit out of that one, and the longer part is this. So right here, this is a smaller area where it's a lot closer. The warping starts a lot closer than right here. So see how much more difference this one has. So this one, I barely move it down and it already starts to warp. For this one, if I barely move it, you can barely even see it. I need to actually move it up higher to make kind of a warp similar to the one that I made below. So basically that is how you can create your own art mesh. Now I'm going to talk about parameters. So let me move the camera a little bit so you'll be able to see the parameters. There it is. So this little section right here where it says parameter are the parameters that you can create or use, because Live2D actually supplies you with some specifications that you can use for your project. And you can use these parameters to basically create the rig for your character's animations. So for example, angle X and angle Y, this is for like how you would rig your character looking up, down, left, and right. As you can see, it is like connected, and the way that I did that is because I clicked this, and you can actually connect two things together. I wouldn't click the one on the bottom because the one on the bottom will actually connect to the one below it. So make sure that you don't accidentally do that. So that's proper instead of this. So generally, angle X and angle Y is for the, not really rotation, but like the perspective of the head. Angle Z is for the head tilt. Eye L open is for the opening and closing of the left eye. Eye smile is left is for how you want the smile, like your eyes to look like if your character is smiling or you are smiling. Eye open and close. The reason why I have an extra thing right here is because I did that. I smile. The eyeball X and Y basically tells you how to move things around. Brow X and Y. I haven't done these because I'm not really needing to change up anything about my eyebrows right now, so I didn't have to worry about that yet. This is mouth formations, so you can actually have a sad mouth, a neutral mouth, and a happy mouth. And I actually rigged it to where the opening of the mouth changes depending on the form. Same right here. Mouth open or slightly open. The cheeks, I made it so it could go from zero blush to full blush. Here's also body X. And body X basically goes back and forth between the twist of your body. I only had the body twist from up to the skirt though. I didn't really have a need to make it go all the way to the legs. This is body Y, where this is how your body is going up and down. Body Z is the tilt of your body. Breathing is how you can make your character look like it's taking a breath. Hair move front is you making your character's hairs like move at the front here. I also did the side hair moving. And then the back hair moving. Oh, and I also made a new parameter where some of my clothes can move. And the way to create your own parameters, you can click where it says new parameter there. Now, these are all the parameters. So hold on, let me just go and save this very quickly so that I don't accidentally lose anything. And I'm gonna actually show you guys how to, I want to be smiling in this one. So let me just change myself to be smiling. Where am I? Where's my mouth? So I'll show you guys how to actually create parameters or to, have your parameters move. So I'll just go do brow X and Y, because brow X and Y basically means that the brow is going side to side for X and Y is going up and down, just like how the X and Y plane work in math. So here for brow LX, I'm because I want to move my left brow right here instead of my right brow, I'm going to go and click on brow L, click on my left brow here inside my actual model, and then right here, I'm going to go ahead and press add 3 keyforms. You can also do 2 keyforms if you need to, but in my case, I need to go make 3 keyforms because I want to stay here in the middle, to the side, and right over here. I'm not just going from back and forth. I want the Live2D to record 3 different locations or 3 different animations for my actual model. So watch. I'm going to click right here, and that doesn't really matter right now. As you can see, I have 3 green dots now. If I click out of it, those dots will turn white, so you know what you are working on if it turns green. Now, right now it doesn't do anything, and it's just because we haven't gotten Live2D to actually save anything there yet. So take a look right here. If I click with my right click right here on the left area, I can actually, if I move and drag my eyebrow to go to the left side, I'll click out of it really quickly. As you can see, if I click and drag between these 2 points right here, it'll actually start looking like it's moving to the middle, back to its original place, and back all the way to the left where I last dragged it. As you can see, if I try to go right here all the way to the very end, it doesn't go anywhere past the middle expression, and it's just because I haven't done anything there yet. I haven't saved anything there yet. So let me just save a little parameter there. So I'm going to click on my eyebrow again. This turns green. Make sure I'm right clicked on here. And then I can, oops, wrong one. I can go ahead and drag it over to the other side. And as you can see, now that I have saved a little animation in every single circle, it looks like I'm going back and forth, back and forth. Now, Y again is like the parameter usually used to go up and down. So let me just save some parameters here and watch. What I'm going to go ahead and do is over here for my leftmost part for the brow L, I'm going to go make it go down because I like this one tends to go down for most rigs. And for the top one, I'm going to make it go up. Oops. So now I have it going down, up. If I wanted these to connect together like how I did my eyeballs or my irises, I can click at the top one, and those two will actually end up connecting together. So as you can see, it has this, but look over here, it's not exactly going to the bottom left, right? Same right here. It's not exactly going to the bottom right, and it's just because Live2D hasn't had anything kind of saved for these corners just yet. So what you need to do is make sure you're selected on the thing. So for example, if I wanted to do something for my eyeballs, I'd click on eyeballs. Because I want to go in the brow right here, I'm going to click on the brow right there, and all I have to do is click here, press select all, because if you have a ton of parts moving here, you want to make sure you're selected at every single one, because you need to make new little points for every single one, like for every single part. Like for example, if my eyebrow moved along with my eyelid right here, I need to also click on my eyelid part, because as you can see, my if I'm clicked on the eyelid, this doesn't turn green, and it's because I haven't saved anything. I haven't clicked here for actually my eyelid to do anything here. So my eyelid has no part in this little mesh area. So again, if you're clicked on the brow L, make sure you click select so that you're clicking all the things that need to be a part of the little animation. And once you have then done that, you can click here and you can click where it says synthesize corners. And you should have a pop-up menu. I'm not exactly sure if OBS is picking this up, but just click OK. And as you can see, it's going to actually start going around in that circle that you need. See, it's going to the lower right or lower left now, going to the lower right, and going up around. So it's going into that circle that I want. If for some reason something's kind of weird or distorted looking, if you want to adjust the corners, because sometimes Live2D doesn't register it properly, you can just go and go to that certain corner, make sure you right click and change it. So for example, if for that right corner I wanted to go all the way down here for some reason, that will work. See, I actually have that animation there now going down in that direction. But that's really basically it for the parameter parts. I might show another video later on about physics, but that's basically it. Let's see here. Let me just turn off all of that stuff there because I didn't want my brow to change just yet or change position just yet. As you can see over here on the angles here, the reason why my head was able to turn, and I'll just explain just a little bit what's going on, is because right over here in the middle, I have my mesh, the warp that is a part of this. Where is my face warp or my head warp? That is the head warp right here, the head warp. As you can see, this head warp that I made for my head mesh is straight, right? But as you can see, the reason why it was able to move along with the chin right here was because I had actually adjusted these little Bezier handles to actually move in the direction I wanted to go. So see, it'll actually go here. And you should actually use the warps instead of using the mesh for this kind of stuff, because if you did the mesh, you'd have to go through every single little point like this, and that would be very annoying. But the warp will help you calculate with Live2D and basically use up all the points along the warp to make the mesh work. That's why sometimes if your mesh isn't exactly good, the warp will start making things look a little bit distorted. So for example, right over here, if the number of divisions in my head was less than 10, and I'll make this a little bit bigger so I can show you guys. My head, accidentally made it to 11. My head might still start looking a little bit distorted. Like as you can see, like right here, it's a little bit wobbly. I'm not sure you guys can actually notice that, but it is a little bit wobbly right there. So that's why I like to have, or to play around with the dimensions of the warp sometimes to make sure that it's not as wobbly. I think it'll look, you'll see it a lot more with the warps for my hair. Where is it? Here it is. If I didn't make it go to 7 and kept it at its default, you'll see that right here it'll start to like curve and get distorted in weird ways. So that's why I made it go to 7, and it isn't as distorted and curved in weird ways. It kind of is slightly, but this one is better. So anyway, those are like the little tiny tips and tutorials that I have for you. If you want me to go really more in depth about how I went into and actually made some areas actually warp itself in specific ways, just leave me a question down in the comments and I might actually make another video on that specific part. Otherwise, I'm going to just put out one last small quick video about physics because in this model I actually have some physics now where my character, or I, am actually able to breathe. The ghosts are little ghosts that I have. Are not our are actually bouncing up and down while I am idle. And there's just a bunch of cool things that I added to it, like the hair swing and all of that stuff. So that part's going to be my last video. But again, if you have any questions, just please tell me and leave it in the comment section. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, please don't hesitate to hit that like button and don't forget to also subscribe. Soon I'm going to go lives and actually debut my new model and actually see it move live, and it's going to be so awesome. So I'll see you guys again, and I can't wait to make more video guys for you later. See you!